Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to AskGolfNut channel and welcome to Titleist GT3 driver review. I've already done the GT2, if you haven't seen that one you can pop up there and have a little look at that one. Obviously watch this one first, but the GT3 is the most visually inspired tech-wise of all of the range. You can see by the sole plate you have that weight position under the bottom there. I've got it in the neutral position. You can move that slightly toey or heely to try and get a little bit more draw or fade bias if you wish. However, when it comes to this, Titleist in their own words are saying this is for the golfer that doesn't have an issue whatsoever with striking, and if you do, I definitely go down the GT2 because even in Titleist's own words, the GT3 is not going to be the most forgiving at all. I will be doing a full-on heat map of this face to see what happens when you don't hit the middle. I'll also be testing this at 80, 95 and 110 miles an hour because we all don't swing at tall speeds. See how good this is. I've got this in the 9-degree head, but because of the wondrous little loft adapter, I've put up to A4, which is about 10.5 degrees. The technology on this golf club is many, and I will just pop it on the side there for you to see. The great thing with Titleist is the fact that they do a great job of being able to keep all that technology in there, but without really you seeing it. And the only thing you can see on this, as you can see, is the bottom window there, which tells you where that weight position is. Let's go give it a hit. We have a little bit of a shiny crown, exactly the same as the GT2. I'm looking forward to hit this one. Don't miss-hit it like I did the GT2, because I've got a feeling it won't be anywhere near as helpful. I'll take that. Absolutely, I'm taking that. That was a slightly high toe hit, and I've hit fairway and actually done pretty well. Club head speed nearly 109 miles an hour as I warm up. Club path is 0, but face to path is slightly open. So I told that golf ball to go right, but with the strike, 10 mil toe, 5 mil high, that's geared back to only 4 yards offline. Now that I'm taking that, 4 yards offline is wonderful, and I'm not complaining at all. But that golf ball should have gone more right than that. And I've noticed on this driver through testing initially is the fact that if you hit this slightly high and slightly toey, it does want to gear quite a lot to the left-hand side. There's an interesting thing with this driver, different to the GT2. Out the middle, this feels amazing, feels lovely. One of the most solid drivers I've ever tested. When you start moving around the face, it doesn't feel very nice. It just feels like that face is twisting constantly. And again, that's what happens when you don't have a very forgiving driver. You get that twist of hitting the center of gravity, the sweet spot, and you kind of get that feeling. That was not middle, and I did feel a little bit of twist, and it kind of takes away from the feel. But from the feedback side of things, at least you know you need to do a better job. So let's see if we can do it again, but this time a better job. That's a much better job. Well, I say a much better job. It is a better job, but as you can see, that's going slightly left and massively long. So there's me trying to hit the middle a bit better. Club head speed 110.4 miles an hour. Club path and face to path is really good. Like 0.7, 0.2, pretty darn good. 4 mil toe, 4 mil high. That is not bad at all. It's a really good strike. That's finished 29.9 yards left. It's very sensitive about going one way. I think the more I'd use it, I think I would have to start using this at the bottom to try and stop that happening, because it's gone 285 yards of carry, which is definitely not short at 14 degrees launch angle, 1921 backspin. It would absolutely give me my longest numbers. That over the GT2, this one's going to win in the distance. When it comes to which one's going to hit fairway more often, absolutely I'm taking GT2. Now that feels lovely. 4 mil toe, 4 mil high. It's tiny amounts offline off of the middle. It feels lovely. It is the nicest of the two. GT2, GT3 out the middle. I'm taking GT3 all day long. You miss the middle, I'm taking GT2 now long. There's a miles apart difference between when you hit it in the middle and when you don't. But when you do hit it in the middle, this thing is monster long. It's just good. I mean, it's just good. Just don't miss-hit the middle, whatever you do. Club speed 110.3 miles an hour. Classic little baby fade dynamics, which I normally deliver. A couple of degrees across, faces baby open, but effectively really very good. 5 mil toe, 1 mil high. That is close enough. Less than 1/4 inch miss. Feels still really very good. 280 206 yards of carry, spinning at 2.2. This is long. This is really nice. On my days where I am literally hitting it out the screws, I'm taking GT3. I'm not giving that distance up, ever. It's just brilliant. On not so good days, I'm taking GT2. GT2 is a much, much nicer, more helpful, happier golf club when you're having an off day. This is really lovely, but you've got to hit out the middle. Right, one last one, because I want to see how it works when you don't hit it in the middle. See what that heat map actually looks like, because it could get quite scary. But let's also see how it works from 3 different swing speeds, because not everyone's going to be swinging at 110 miles an hour. Of course, they do these in different lofts, no different to the GT2. So you've got to get custom fit, must get custom fit. But last one, let's give it a whack. Let's see if we can get one launching down there and see how far we can go. Yeah, and I mishit it out the bottom. It's a shame. I was kind of hoping to launch one then, but it's still very, very good. Club head speeds, 113 miles an hour, basically 112.7. Club path is slightly cross, face is slightly open, my baby little dynamics, which I normally do for slight fades. 6mm toe, 9mm low. It's a shame, I wanted to bomb one, but I caught it slightly low on the face, so spins up at 2.4. Launch is slightly down because low on the face is less loft at 12 degrees. 285 yards of carry though, very, very good. And 8.8 yards off of line. I got away with that one considering I did not hit the middle. Right, let's go give this a whack all over the face. Let's go see what happens when you really don't hit the middle, see how much distance you actually lose in my normal heat map style. And let's go see what happens at 3 different swing speeds. 80 miles an hour, 95 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour. Let's go see how good the new GT3 driver is from Titleist. So it's all important numbers time. We find how good the GT3 is from Titleist. We find out how good it is for retaining ball speed around the face, and also how good it is retaining distance from around the face, because they're not always linked. And of course, let's go have a look first at the 3 different swing speeds. On the screen, you can see we've got the ball data on top and the club head data underneath. We'll do the club head data in a sec, but let's go have a look at the 3 different swing speeds. First, we've got the red, which is 80 miles an hour, the yellow, which is 95 miles an hour, and the blue, which is the full-on 110 miles an hour. If we go by the red first, the 80 mile an hour, carry distance of 181 yards, peaking up at 17 yards in the air, that is it. Descent angle 25.8 degrees, and total spin is 1500. Effectively what we're seeing here is not enough launch, not enough spin, not enough of anything to keep the golf ball in the air. And of course, remember, this is the 9-degree head up to 10.5 degrees. Of course, they do make them in other lofts as well. And what we're seeing here at slow swing speed, you'd have to go to the 10-degree loft head. Absolutely, I'd actually go to the 11-degree head, because they do make it in the 11-degree, to try and get some extra launch around the sort of about the 15.5 degrees or so, because with the 11-degree head, you'll be able to go to around about 12.5 degrees or so and gain some valuable launch angle, gain some more valuable spin, and gain some valuable carry distance back, because you've got absolutely no wiggle room whatsoever on miss hits and 1500 RPM. It's not enough to keep the golf ball in the air. If you go up to 95 miles an hour though, the yellow, you've got a carry distance of 241 yards, peaking up at now 29 yards in the air, descent angle 35.3 degrees, which is lovely and shallow. We want a golf ball coming in, especially with the driver, to come in nice and shallow. It hits the fairway, so it gives it much bounce and roll as possible. With an iron, we're looking at 40 degrees or more. Obviously with the driver, we're looking for no stop on the fairway, we're looking for chase instead. And spins at 1900. It is still dangerously low, even at 95 miles an hour. And of course, again, yes, you have got the option to go in different lofted heads, but for even the 95 miles an hour, with the GT3 being the lowest spinning option, it definitely is borderline on the spin. If you go to the full-on 110 miles an hour, the blue, you've got ball speeds now at 162, launching at 14 degrees. Total spin now is at 2,400, which is a much, much nicer spin profile to have. We're going 284 yards on average of carry and 42 yards in the air and 42.4 degrees descent angle. So to get the most out of the GT3 at the full-on 110 miles an hour, I would drop the loft to around about 9.5 degrees or so. That will affect launch slightly, but it will affect more spin. We'll get the spin around about to a baseline 2.2, which is the lovely number which I like to see, because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room when you don't hit the middle, especially if you hit high in the face. If you've got a very, very low spin line baseline number, you get that vertical gearing, and of course you can take the spin off even more, and you could effectively, the golf ball falls out the sky. So we need a decent baseline spin number to make sure you have wiggle room for miss hits. Let's go to the clubhead data, show what we're doing here. We've got 80.7, 95.6, 110.3, so within a very few tenths of a mile an hour there, your 15 miles an hour gaps. Efficiency is 1.48, 1.46, 1.46. Attack angles within 1.2 degrees. Club path is within a degree and a bit or so. Face to path is within a degree. But the all-important loft, the difference between 15.7 and 16.6, less than a degree, 0.9 of a degree difference between 30 miles an hour. I'm not a robot, no one is, but it's as close as I can get it. And of course you've got my strike on there as well. The only thing I would say on there would be the full-on 110 miles an hour. You can see the strike there goes 5 millimeters low, and I'm finding the faster I go, the more I want to hit it low on the face because of this golf club's propensity to want to gear when you hit slightly toe and slightly high on the face. So I was protecting that, trying to hit target, obviously trying to hit the distance we can do, but hitting low on the face enables the golf club to stay a little bit straighter, we'll say. So to see how good the GT3 is, this is normally where I pop onto the heat maps and show you how much ball speed retention and also how much distance retention happens when you don't hit the middle. I've just got one very quick capture to show you before we go into the heat maps. I've got one here, you can see it's a 2 mil high, 6 mil toe strike. So it's a very, very good strike. It's a 1/4 of an inch miss from middle. That is it. Club path and face to path at very 0-0. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. 110 mile an hour club head speed. Launching at 16 degrees and backspins at 1932. So just over 1900. RPM, just less than 2000. It is borderline on the spin number. Carry 294 yards. 161 ball speed, 294 yards. It is really very, very long, this golf club. But you can see 1932 RPM. It's getting very, very close to being a little bit dodgy with the spin number. Even at that speed, 110, if I hit it like that, it's getting very low on the spin number. And even though 1900 is absolutely fine, you could hit all shots all day long with 1900 RPM, be absolutely fine. But that's a 2 mil high, 6 mil toe miss, not a big miss at all. And of course, if you hit higher on the face and that gets some vertical gearing, very quickly that back spin number comes off rather fast. And then you'll find rather than hitting it 294 yards, you might be carrying 254 yards because you'll be losing 40 yards in carry because the golf ball's going to fall out of the sky. So very, very good, but very, very picky when it comes to the spin profile. So to the all-important heat maps time, we're going to do the efficiency heat map first, the one that the manufacturers always like us to talk about because generally speaking heat maps on the efficiency side, the manufacturers always talk about variable face thickness, they talk about retention of ball speed across the face, more forgiveness and everything else. So this is basically what they're talking about. And if you can have a look on the screen here, we've got the heat map and all, if I can get the overlay on there as well. At the same time, you can see just how good this golf club is at retaining ball speed. The green is good, yellow is absolutely fine, orange is so-so and red is bad. That's the same kind of idea we have with all the heat maps, and you can see it doesn't really get into the red at all until it goes to very, very high heel. It's doing exceptionally well, this golf club. Very, very green, and of course if you were to see that just from a heat map point of view of the efficiency, you'd be amazed. You'd be thinking, wow, this is the best driver in the world. But you have to go to the distance factor map, the next one, which showcases just how much distance is kept when you don't hit the middle, which is far, far more important than that of the efficiency heat map. And of course, as soon as you change it, you can see the red is distinctly there. It's very picky, this golf club, when it comes to strike. You can see just how small that green blob is. So you've still got a decent lump there to hit, we'll call it, but it's not a lot. There's obviously golf clubs out there, drivers out there, which has far bigger green blobs. And because of, you can see the amount of red on there and orange, you can see just how much distance loss has happened when you don't hit the specific middle. Now, of course, you can see the middle on the graph on the heat map grid is 0 point is the best part of the face to hit. You can actually physically see though on the overlay that the best place to hit is on this golf club, or the most distance you get from it is fractionally toey. And of course the little pinprick, you can see that white dot on the overlay is middle, where effectively that's actually just going into the 2 to 3% drop. So you actually get 3%, 2 or 3% loss of distance from actually hitting the middle, and you get the most distance from hitting the toe. But you can see from a golfer's perspective, the GT3 is very, very particular about where you hit it, and it is very, very particular about how much gear effect it applies. And I would be very concerned any golfer using the GT3, one from a speed profile, if they're not fast enough and they don't generate enough spin. The GT3 is the longest potentially, well, they've got the GT4, very, very, very particular driver, but the GT3 has potential to be very, very, very good, but it's got to be properly custom fit. I'd be very wary about different swing speed golfers getting this, especially if they're on the lower side. You've got to make sure that you have the right loft in your hands and get the right spin profile. And if you're a golfer which, shall we say, varies on your strike point, again, I'd be a bit concerned. If you are a golfer like that and you go for a fitting, go for a test, go for a demo, and you hit the GT3 and you're just having a really good day of strike, don't succumb to the false sense of security if you're hitting it like just on that day really, really well. You then move this to another day when you don't hit the GT3 very, very well whatsoever, and you're going to get embarrassed quite quickly because that golf ball is going to do some weird and wonderful things. For those people, absolutely will be GT2. GT1 is a little bit more of a hyper forgiving kind of idea, low swing speed, lightweight maybe idea, but I would say on balance the GT2 is the all-rounder driver for Titleist, and the GT3 especially is a little bit more specific. Hope you liked the video. If you did, go on, give it a big old thumbs up, hit that like button. YouTube likes, so do I. Down there also is a subscribe button. It's the most important button because it's free and it is great for the channel if you could subscribe, so thank you. And next to that one is a bell icon, that's a notification bell. If you click that one, that will notify you next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well. We'll see you again soon.